Russell's Reserve, Camp Nelson B Single Rickhouse. Yeah, we're doing this one today. Hello everyone, this is Bentley, and today, 2 Minute Tuesday, we're getting into one of my personal favorites. Russell's Reserve, Single Rickhouse, Camp Nelson B. So this is the 2024 release for the Single Rickhouses. Kind of every year there's like 2 Russell's releases lately. Usually there is a 13, although last year we had 15, and a Single Rickhouse. Now this is the 3rd edition of the Single Rickhouse, and it is the highest proof Russell's product ever released at 120.2 proof. It comes exclusively from Camp Nelson B. So Camp Nelson has 5 buildings, and what makes B interesting is that it gets the most sun exposure of all of the rickhouses that are on Camp Nelson. With that extra sun exposure, it's a little hotter usually, hence probably why we're seeing the highest proof Russell's product ever coming out of there. Every single barrel was chosen from floor 6, so we're also in the upper levels to help increase that proof. Single Rickhouse is one of the things that, despite being kind of expensive at an MSRP of basically $300, it's one of my favorite releases every year because it gets this fantastic dusty turkey note to it. The Camp Nelson F is probably the one that everyone knows has phenomenal dusty turkey notes. It's very close as to whether Camp Nelson F or Russell's 15 is actually my favorite Russell's product of what I've had. Now, I haven't had like the 2003, the 2002, the 1998, some of those really crazy ones, but I really love Russell's. I have lots of Russell's picks. Obviously, I have the 13s and the Single Rickhouses. I've basically got all of the more modern ones. So, with that being said, let's see how Camp Nelson B stacks up to all the other whiskeys we tried this year and some of the previous releases of the Russell's product line when it comes to their LEs. Cork action. Not bad. A little squeaky. Right away, we've got dark amber kind of color. It might be hard to see, but it's dripping down really slow, so quite viscous. Nose. Our 120.2 proof is definitely saying hi, but really the dominant note that I'm getting on the nose right away in the Rickhouse oak influence smell. There's a little dustiness to it, and it's everything I kind of expect and want out of Single Rickhouse when it comes to the nose. Big kind of oaky notes in the middle of the Rickhouse, kind of experiencing that smell. It's just phenomenal. You get past that, there's a really nice light vanilla, wonderful kind of like brown sugar thing going on. So I almost think like a nice cookie dough kind of thing. Once you get past kind of that big oak, that little bit of sweetness, like a frosted cookie kind of thing going on. There's a wonderful barrel influence where you've got a little bit of kind of cinnamon and spice going on. I can't wait to taste this thing. Kind of like Russell's 15, the oak is there right away. It's very different than Russell's 15. I want to be very clear. This has definitely got that dusty portion of the notes that I especially love out of Camp Nelson F, but there's a little bit of that dustiness in there with just this big, upfront, wonderful oak. It's a little sweet, but not quite as sweet as the Russell's 15 was. Once you get past that kind of big oak influence note, a little bit of that sweetness, it's cherry note in the mid-palate. Not quite as sweet as like Buffalo Trace, but it's just there. It's saying hello. It's bringing something lovely to the party. Then once you get into the finish, man, there's just this lovely little bit of pepper. That Kentucky Hug is definitely saying hi throughout this whole thing for quite a while. It's lingering quite nicely. A little bit of pepper, but also kind of a little bit of like clove, and not as much of the cinnamon that I got in the nose. It's definitely got some spice going on, but it's different than what I smelled, so that's kind of interesting. So going a couple more sips in, I get a little faint bit of, instead of that brown sugar that I got kind of on the nose, it's kind of like baklava. Rich, beautiful, sweet honey thing. Lots of spices, lots of cinnamon, a little nutmeg. The clove is what's like really coming out here, but it's not domineering. It's just kind of faint and in there. Lets you know it's there. This is really good whiskey. This is really good whiskey. Overall score, I think this is a 90. It's very good. For those that are gonna care about price point, you might dock that down a bit just because the Russell's Single Rickhouse releases are pretty expensive. If your options are get a Russell's 15 or get this at the same price, get the Russell's 15. This is really good whiskey, do not get me wrong. And if you have an ability to get this close to MSRP or at MSRP, and this is the like gravitas of bottle that you're interested in, this is a great pickup. It's fantastic. Now, would I have the Camp Nelson F or this? Camp Nelson F has a lot more of that dusty turkey note, a little less of the cherry than is present here, and not quite as much honey. It's a little like deeper oak sweetness. I still feel like I like the Camp Nelson F slightly better, even though it's lower proof. This is still very close. We're talking like a point differential here. And it's going to be one of those things where on certain days where I want that bigger, sweeter flavor profile, it's going to be this one. Or if I want that heavy, dusty turkey thing, it's going to be Camp Nelson F. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is well-deserved of a 90. I feel like the Single Rickhouses are often some of the best releases that Russell's puts out, except, 15 was like unreal and probably will never get ever again. So yeah, if you were lucky and got some, good on you. I'm very fortunate to have mine. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Have you had this, whether it's at a bar or maybe you've lucked out and got some of the Single Rickhouse bottles? What are your thoughts? Does your palate get kind of the same thing I'm getting? Do you get something completely different? Do you think it's totally not worth the money whatsoever? How dare I ever pay more than like $65 for a bottle of whiskey or whatever? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to give away the C.H. Taylor Single Barrel. And there'll be some more stuff, but I'll announce that a little later. And also when we hit 500 subscribers, there'll be something cool too. I won't tell you exactly what that is yet, but let's just say some of it's behind me. Please consider subscribing, leave a comment, leave a like. That's the best way to tell the old YouTube algorithm, like, I like this and somebody else might too. It's absolutely free and it helps us small whiskey tubers keep doing what we're doing. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching and stay awesome.